Hello and welcome to Share Talk. I am Bonnie Hughes. Today we are speaking with Keras Resources. They have a manganese project in northern Togo in West Africa, and they recently just acquired a phosphate project in Utah. And here to tell us all about the potential of the company is Russell Lamming, Chief Executive Officer. Hello, Russell.
Bonnie, good morning. Well, it's actually good afternoon. Thanks for having me on the call.
So, Russell, you recently acquired a 51% interest in a phosphate project in Utah. Can you tell us about the significance of this acquisition for Keras?
Absolutely. I think as a one company, well, one project company, we always looking at new projects. We have specific investment criteria. We always look at a decent grade, low capex, and importantly, we'd like it either permitted or near permitting. This met all those investment criteria, so we went ahead with the project. We started looking at it at the back end of last year. Unfortunately, from a Keras perspective, we couldn't meet all the due diligence timelines. Myself and Dave Reeves actually invested and actually paid for a bulk sample, which gave us a lot more certainty on the project. And then we went ahead with it now. So it's located just outside Salt Lake City in Utah, which is a very mining-friendly environment, and we're very happy to be there.
Excellent. And you basically did the acquisition structure in order to maximize your cash resources. Can you just give us an overview of the acquisition structure?
Absolutely. We're acquiring 51% for a nominal value, but we're doing it by providing a loan of $2.5 million. The $700,000 that went in for the bulk sample was the first tranche. We're doing another 3 tranches of $600,000 each, and those will take us to 51%. There's currently a loan of about $1.8 million in there for the vendor, but as cash flows and distributable cash flows come through, we will be paid back preferentially until we get our investment back.
And can you tell us a little bit about the asset? Like I understand that a criteria of low capex of only about 468,000 US. And can you tell us about what the potential production could be?
Yeah, sure. Now, the first thing we breaking into the organic phosphate market in North America. There are clearly barriers to entry from convincing current end users to change who they are buying their phosphate from. So we're starting off small. We're doing 5,000 tons in the first year, which only represents about 2% of the total phosphate predicted for 2020. We're going to grow that over 5 years to 48,000 tons per annum, which only takes us up to about 14%, depending on our market penetration. And we feel that we're selling a premium product here, so we're very confident in creating that market share. But we could ramp it up faster if possible.
Well, you've already proven. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no worries at all. The plant that we've had tested and inspected we've had the test work done in Shanghai, can do the full 48,000 tons per annum. So we don't have any capacity constraints or the need within 2 or 3 years to increase that capacity again from a capital perspective.
Well, you've already proven the potential of the project because you have an initial order for 770 tons. How did that order come about?
Well, the bulk sample, we spent a lot of, we used a lot of that bulk sample to send out product to potential customers. We treated most of that bulk sample and sent out both, we've got 3 sizings, which is a -10 mesh, a -100 mesh, and a -350 mesh. We also were planning to do a granulated product. We sent a granulated product to this customer, and they actually preferred the idea of having a -10 mesh rather than a granulated. So they put the order in, and we trying to get the material off the mountain as quickly as possible now. It's
And
nice
so,
to have, that represents about 15% of our total forecast sales for the year. So it's a really nice start.
and so when is production going to be potentially started?
We on the mountain already. We upgrading the access roads that we built for the bulk sample. We've already got the mining equipment on site, and we've started production. We haven't taken it off the mountain yet, but it's it's as we speak.
And is there anything else you'd like shareholders to know about the project before we move on to your manganese project?
Well, I think the fact that it's our shareholders unfortunately have understand the need for permitting these projects. NAIGA has been with us for a while. We do have the Council of Ministers decree, which gives us the right to mine. We're obviously waiting for the last bit of permitting on there. But having a permitted simple operation to go straight into cash flow is a great opportunity for our shareholders, and hence why the directors invested as well, and we look forward to taking it forward.
And how soon after you get your exploitation license for the manganese project could you begin production?
We could start straight away. The bulk sample that we did in March, April last year, during that process, we built a processing plant, which is, we can produce 6,500 tons per month. And that's on care and maintenance at the moment. We have a very good contractor in Togo, and he can start the process straight away.
And with regard to your test work on the project, it's being fully funded by an end user. Will this end user potentially be taking 100% of production in the future? Or you'll
No,
be finding other end users?
there were no links associated with that transaction. It was lucky in that way that we still have full flexibility in who we sell our product to. That product was fully tested in a silicomanganese smelter, which we're very happy with, and there's a lot of interest out there. Manganese, the market is a robust market, albeit volatile.
And you recently added to the management team to help you on the Utah project. Can you tell us about the person that's joined your team?
Yeah, of course. Jean Duplessis is an old colleague of ours. Effectively, what we've got here is we've got the Chromex mining team back together. We built the Stellite mine in South Africa back in 2010. Jean has been working in the US since 2012. So it was very fortunate that we were able to get him on site. He's already located in Salt Lake City now. And it's fantastic having him on site. It makes a huge difference, specifically in the current environment with the COVID pandemic, for us to be able to actually start an operation without us leaving the UK.
That's excellent. And you're recently just issued some more shares just to raise some funding for the acquisition.
Yeah.
You have about 4 billion shares outstanding. Is there any future plans to consolidate those shares?
Absolutely. We've spoken about that before in the beginning of this year. We haven't done it yet. I think it's important when you do it. I think once we become cash flow positive and we move forward, no one wants 4 billion shares in issue. I think also it's a good opportunity to talk about, the perception of dilution, and the fact that you potentially went from 2% to 1% overnight. I don't think you should look at it that way. We've doubled our portfolio. We have de-risked the company significantly for that. I think the fact that the directors invested again and have maintained their percentage of the company speaks volumes to what we're doing. So hopefully we can prove that the dilution is actually just a perception rather than that. I mean, I'd like the share to be, it's what the share is worth, not the percentage in the company.
Very true. And speaking of directors' interest, they have about 27%, which is quite significant and does show that they are aligned with moving the company forward.
Absolutely. I think over time we've all invested. We've generally invested at the same time when other investors have come in, and we've bought in the market as well. So we're very comfortable with the company. We look forward to taking the NAIGA manganese project forward, which I think will be a huge fillip for the company, but absolutely comfortable continuing with our investing.
And what can investors expect to hear from the company going forward in terms of news flow?
Well, there's going to be a lot of news flow out of Utah. From we should be ordering the plant soon as the money settles from the capital raising. We will be the mining, ramping up mining. There's sales, various things. Once you're in cash flow and the beginning of production, lots to talk about there. We'll start the exploration only next year, but there'll be plenty of other work that's happening there. Obviously, the key bit of news flow that shareholders are looking for is the permit in Togo, and we're working very hard on that. And hopefully, once that happens, it's basically a duplication of the information that would have been coming out of Utah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Russell. It looks like you have some very interesting projects that are near-term cash flow, which investors obviously like. And we would like to speak to you again when things start moving forward.
Thanks very much, Bunny. Much appreciated for your time.
And thank you very much for joining us on Share Talk. Have a very profitable day.